About that, yeah.
Something doesn't seem right. I might call
Never
my
thought
son.
about. Go down to
So that's
73,
what's, yeah.
and then
But looking back, how was the trip?
good.
Did you win?
Call the April the 4th Lincolnton City Council meeting to order. If we could all rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you've had a chance to look over the agendas. I'll entertain a motion to approve the regular agenda.
Motion to approve the regular agenda.
Motion by Christine. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We've got a lengthy consent agenda items. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make that motion.
Motion by Jill. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now, the first item on the agenda is the special presentations. And the first one is the Apple Drop disbursements. And I'll turn it over to, I don't know who.
Oh, you know who it is.
Oh,
no,
God.
No, tried.
Oh,
But the best thing is I have this because they were really the when it comes to the Apple Drop.
they're the
it was like
brains of the outfit.
yeah, I was just
Okay.
pretty face to it all.
Mayor, I recommend a 2-minute limit on speakers.
Yeah, I do right. Animal Services will not be able to come tonight. And then Keith for Hesed House, he has a board meeting tonight. He was trying to make it here. Christian Ministries. Anybody from Christian Ministries? Come, come on up here. You can get some money. For the ones that don't know, after drop it happened this past New Year's. We take donations. It's all free for anybody in the community, but we take donations. And this year we had 3 organizations, Christian Ministries being one, Hesed House, and also Animal Services. For all the money that was collected, I feel like I'm doing prices right again. I'm sitting here opening envelopes. Man, your check today, choose to accept it, is $926.68. Thank y'all so much for everything y'all do in the community. I'm glad that we could help. Yeah, we'll make it bigger and better next year.
It's
some
bigger
more.
every year. It's a great time all the way around.
Right, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, I do have to, I will, yes. All right, come on. Y'all gotta get this. Come on, Shelby, you're front and center. Just because of that.
Yeah.
Here you go. Shelby really wants.
Check up, Mitzi.
I'll get myself.
It's okay, Matt.
All right. Thank you, man. See, look, simple as that, right? I told you, you can get out about 17.
And I'm going.
But Ashley Jones and Shelby, what now? What about the checks?
Are you gonna announce what
Oh.
they're for and
What?
since they're not here? It's
Oh,
still
yeah.
announced that.
Oh yeah, we're still gonna announce it. So Hesed House is check, it's for the same amount, $926.68. And also Lincoln County Animal Services will be getting a check for $926.68. So thank you from the community for everything that everybody came out, donated. This is gonna go to help all these organizations and, I'm gonna make it better for us, living here. So I appreciate it. And thank you guys for you want me to get these back to you, or you want me to hold on to them?
Doesn't matter, we can distribute them if you want us to, yeah.
We'll give it to them. All right, that's fine. I can give my bag, that's fine. I'll give it to Vanessa, and she can get that one, and then we'll get the keys. Okay.
and would like to thank the young adults for all the work that they did. It was the Apple Drop this year. Wait a second, you haven't heard my spiel yet. Shelby, my gosh, you were running. But
Got her muddy and gone.
Shelby's worried that you're going to try to offer her a job and bring her back to the city. She's like, before I get sucked back into it all.
the young adults did a great job. We appreciate the organization and all the work that you did. And on the behalf of the city council, thank you.
Thank y'all
We
again.
love doing it. It was great.
Yeah. And if anybody ever has any ideas for what we can do next year, just make sure that, y'all give us the money, you approve that, and we can you make it bigger and better. Laser light show, that's the big thing. Light show, laser lights. Just think Mayor Ed.
I would like to say thank you to Laura for her assistance.
Yes, thank you, Laura.
That she gave us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you,
There you
Trent.
go.
Now you can leave.
Sorry, Mr.
I think I could take a picture of identifying monetary amounts.
Yeah. You want to take a picture of the checks?
And just, oh, you don't have to, maybe the rest of it.
You tell me. Okay,
Hey, we need all the press we can get, all the publicity.
Take it. It's all
Good publicity.
All the good publicity, yeah.
For our yeah. I'll get. I'll talk to them.
Is
They're trying to be done by 7:30 tonight.
Yeah.
And next item on the agenda, I'll turn it over to Chief Green. And you can do the official introductions.
So Mayor and Council, we did this last month for Officer Roper. This is advanced certificate. This is the highest honor that our criminal justice training and standards will award an officer. It's based on years of experience, education, and training. It's not easy to get. Dylan has almost 10 years in law enforcement and a little over 5 years with us in law enforcement. So, Dylan, we would like to present you with your advanced certificate.
Dylan, now's your opportunity to say whatever you want, get whatever you want off your chest.
Yeah, you're gonna give a 10-minute speech.
Don't ask for a raise.
Yeah, ask for anything but money.
I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, I've been doing this almost 10 years. I mean, I'm glad I got this awarded to me, and I put a lot of time and effort into it, so yeah, I'm grateful for it. So,
We're very proud of it.
thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Congrats.
How you, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Next item on the agenda is public comments.
Mr. Hall?
Alan? And Alan, before you get started, let me remind you, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, Mayor and City Council, I just wanted to, compelled to deliver to you a message. And that was, I've been here, as you know, many meetings. And for many meetings, it's really been amazing in how things flowed and worked good, and seemed like it was so personally driven. But I have to say, after especially last meeting, I never seen such chaos that kind of took place in my city council's meeting. But I want to remind you of the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. It says, Congress shall not make any law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of press or the right of the people to peacefully assemble and petition the government for a redress of grievances. You had over 1,000 people that came in here, either through petition or personally. And not long prior to this, the City Council, as well with Chief of Police Jordan of Covenant Bible Church, actually what you've done to the Constitution is you ripped it in half, because the people spoke and told you what to do. I've read the word over and over, and like I said, I gave you some actual scripture from the Bible. And it hit me when I was reading some of this. The word, I'm from the country, and in the country we tell a horse to whoa, and that just means stop. And it's spelled different, but in the Bible, there's a woe as well. But that woe is not just stop, it means turn and go in the opposite direction. But what you've done as well is you've taken the Bible and said it means nothing to you as well. And that's what I've been told to deliver to you. That's what you've done. It's not a laughing matter. Because it's bringing a curse on our nation and our children that you had part of in school and everything else. And you told them it's okay to drink, and drinking is a drug. And you putting it in front of children and saying by that as an adult this is okay activity. And so when we regulate only by money and saying that's all we're going to regulate by, and not by the Word of God, not by the Constitution, and not by the will of people, then you're ushering over the people and saying that their right and their vote means nothing. And it's shameful and disrespectful. And I'm appalled that we're bringing a curse on our city in such a manner.
Normally I would say thank you, but tearing up the Constitution and the Bible in a public place
Terrible.
is, to me, a worse example than what you demonstrated. Anybody else?
No, sir.
Okay, next we'll go to the regular agenda. And first person on the regular agenda, I'll turn it over to Mark Ward. This is a National Wreaths Across America. And Mark, the floor is yours.
Let me start off with saying I am not with Wreaths Across America, okay? I'm not going to offer you any of my personal opinions. I am a veteran. I grew up on North Flint Street right here in Lincolnton. My father is a veteran of the Korean conflict. My grandfather is a veteran. I don't know, for several years I've wanted to do this, but it seems like we have a way of turning everything political in this town. So here's what I'm here to ask you to do. And I want you to vote on this and let the chips fall where they are. I want to raise the money to place wreaths on 900 veterans' graves in Hollybrook Cemetery. For your information, none of my family is buried there. My family will get wreaths whether these 900 veterans do or not. I want to do that with the help of Richie and the city of Lincolnton. I want to do that. I've talked to Richie that Richie would provide us with a dumpster to put the debris in. Should be roughly 90 boxes that we have to dispose of. He has said that he thinks the city of Lincolnton can shoulder that burden. We ask that those wreaths be laid and left laid for 30 days. That's pretty common, okay? They'll last that long, they'll look good. He has agreed that he will help with the disposal and the removal of those wreaths. My wife and I have signed up as a coordinators with Wreaths Across America. We will raise the money, whether or not it's through personal donations. Hollybrook Cemetery is listed now, but it's not active. I won't activate it till after you guys vote on what we're going to do, to where folks can donate. So you know there's not any money to be made here for anybody that's actively volunteering. We set Hollybrook up on a 3-2. Every 2 wreaths that are bought at $17 a piece, Wreaths Across America will donate the third one for free. So you're roughly talking about raising $10,000, $11,000 to honor veterans. I will keep that as my responsibility to raise that money every year until I turn this over to somebody else here in this town. Okay, I don't have a problem raising the money. We will also do a honor and teach. There will be a ceremony where we will honor all branches of the military, and any family member that has a veteran buried in that cemetery will have an opportunity to place their veteran's wreath if they'd like to. Okay, that's all I really got. It's really that simple. It's that easy.
I would just like to say, my father was a lifer in the Air Force. I had 4 brothers. They all chose different Marine, Army. They chose different ones, but I really support the veterans and anything we can do, so that, just like to share
Thank
that.
them for their service.
And we'd also like to have maybe somebody from the city to be there, because it's supposed to be on December 14th, is the day that they've chosen this year for the wreaths to be laid.
We'd really like a city councilman
So
or somebody to represent the city at that ceremony, okay? And obviously, any way you want to look at it, we'd like for the Lincoln Times, or even the Herald, whatever's there. Number one, we need the publicity to raise this $11,000, okay? I really don't think it's going to be an issue. I really don't. I think it's going to be fairly easy. And I'll be honest with you in telling you, I'm kind of being selfish. I wanted to do this because nobody's ever done it at Hollybrook. We participated in a wreath laying in Cherville this past December. My wife and I did. We don't know anybody that's interned there. We just felt like it would be a good opportunity to get our feet wet and just see how it worked. With that being said, it's a pretty simple ceremony, and it's a pretty good way to honor the veterans. I have no way of knowing. I'm being told that there's 900 interned.
About 28, 900 is what we were told by the veterans.
Are interned there, and it's going to take some legwork from us to figure out what sections they're buried in, how many wreaths we're going to have, and to be able to place those boxes and everything. I'm willing to do that, but I'm going to say this to you too. I chose this because I thought it was a small cemetery and it wouldn't be a lot. Okay, so, and the biggest reason I did it was, number one, I wanted to honor some local veterans, but at the same time, I wanted to get my feet wet because I really want to introduce the cemetery where my dad and my family is buried down on 27 in Stanley, Hillcrest Gardens, which is a monstrosity of a cemetery. I guess I'm really getting my feet wet. So,
But this is our hometown, you know, and
Yeah,
it's a city cemetery. So with that being said, that's just something that's dear to our hearts.
You want me to say something, Mark?
yeah, this is Mason. He actually is a driver, an honor driver for Wreaths Across America, and he delivers wreaths all across the nation. He showed up here tonight to support us, just to kind of help guide us. So
Yeah, and I was going to recognize Mason because we had an opportunity to meet, and very impressed.
I've been involved with Wreaths Across America for 8 years. The first year was doing fundraising for my nephew's cemetery in Oswego, New York. This coming December would be my 7th year delivering wreaths. I have 2 major cemeteries in Jacksonville, Florida. Both are private cemeteries. When we're up in Maine and drivers are coming in to check in, and I'm one of the guys who welcomes them in and stuff and talks to them, the first question I said, "Is this your first year?" And they say yes. I stick my hand out and I say, "Welcome to the family." Wreaths Across America is a family. It's family owned, family run, and anybody who participates, the cemeteries, the site coordinators, the drivers, we are all family. The motto for the wreaths is remember, honor, teach. The most important one is the teaching, because we want to get the youth and the community involved into this, promoting this. Because Wreaths Across America, they do very, very little advertising. It's all spread by word of mouth. Now, I showed the mayor what I have in my pocket. I got this from the owner, founder of Wreaths Across America, Morrill Worcester. Anybody who served in the military knows that this is a challenge coin. And I'm challenging you all here to help us do this, participate, grow it, and let's work together. Because once you start this process, it grows by leaps and bounds. To give you an idea, last year, Wreaths Across America placed wreaths in over 4,200 cemeteries. Each wreath is consisted of 10 stems. Each stem has a meaning. They produced close to 4 million wreaths last year. They're not made by a machine. They're all made by hand. If you go onto the Wreaths Across America website, you'll see Morrill, my friend, make a wreath. And then you can watch the videos of how they place wreaths in Normandy, Luxembourg, Puerto Rico. These are the special ones, but they still place wreaths in Pearl Harbor, over in the Samoans, Guam. And because of my challenge coin, I've challenged Boy Scout troops down in Kingsland, Georgia, to go help place wreaths and do fundraising for Jacksonville National. That in terms, I want to say close to 18,000 veterans there, and it's growing. My little cemetery, I call it my big cemetery, this coming December, they're going to have full coverage of over 5,000. When you see a truck coming down the road with its wreaths on the grill and the decals, that truck is hauling almost over 6,600 wreaths to a cemetery, or multiple cemeteries in our things. So I look forward to working with all of you, including Mark, because the reason why I reached out to Mark is I saw it on the Lincolnton
Town Talk.
Yeah, Town Talk. And Susan said, wouldn't this be nice to do Hollybrook? And I said, get in touch with me. Let's make it happen. Because that's what the focus is now for Wreaths Across America. Everybody knows about the big national cemeteries. But we now want the little privately owned, city-owned cemeteries that have multiple veterans. Because I will tell you from personal experience, when a wreath is placed on a loved one's stone, it makes the world to them. Because I have sent wreaths for friends and family because they couldn't make it there. But that's it.
I honestly think that with 900, we can have full coverage this year. And here's the other thing is we set it up on a bank where if we do, let's say, hypothetically, I don't know what we'll do, but let's say we raise $20,000 this year. That money will automatically be banked by Wreaths Across America and Wreaths for next year. So other than the cleanup process, that's really, we need your permission to let this happen, and we need to give your we need you to give your blessing that you don't have a problem with us expending the amount of money that it's going to cost the city to do the cleanup.
And
okay?
I'll tell you something else with the cleanup. The people who come to place the wreaths, the volunteers, when you give the specific date for the cleanup, they will come back and help clean up the wreaths.
We will make the effort to make sure that happens, and just so you know that. And it may be that the city doesn't have to do anything. It may be that we just get a rollout out there, and I have enough volunteers. What I didn't want to do was volunteer my wife and myself to clean up 900 wreaths 30 days later. I mean, I was looking to do some work here, in the community, but I wasn't looking for another job.
I'll make another statement. The company I work for,
We can look at that as part of our donation as an in-kind service.
So you guys, if you need to think about it, whatever we need to do, and let us know what your decision is, and we'll, when you let me know that, we'll move forward, or we'll try to figure out.
When will they be placed? Is this going to be on Veterans Day?
They will be placed on December the 14th.
It's always the second Saturday.
For Christmas.
Well, this year it's the
So
second,
it won't
December
run in with
14th.
our flags.
It should run in with the flags. It's going to be in December. The idea of it is the part of the honor teach, and remember, the whole idea is if you would come to place a wreath, we would ask you when you got to whatever site that you pick that you say that veteran's name out loud. Yeah. We're going to see some veterans from very, very early in this county, in this city, buried in Hollybrook Cemetery. So I'm satisfied we're going to say some names that more than likely haven't been said in just an ungodly number of years. So the idea of it is for you to stand there, place a wreath on his grave or her grave to honor her and to speak her name.
At the 12 o'clock mark, you have to.
As long as that person's name is mentioned, They're never forgotten.
And like I
Somebody's
said,
gonna
You
stand there.
have to do that at every
every stone.
stone.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we support Wreaths Across America.
Motion by Christine, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't know you back.
My dad's big reporter, so that's gonna be really special.
You
get to place the wreath.
That would be awesome if you did
I'd love
that. That we would, it'll be public, won't we? It'll be awesome for you to get to place it.
the city.
to, I'd be glad to.
And that would be awesome.
I think it'd be neat. Yeah, I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
let her take the,
Yeah.
since it's personal.
I appreciate your work.
That's fine.
Okay.
These are reports.
Okay, next item on the agenda, I would like to introduce Cliff Brumfield. He's with the Lincoln Economic Development Association, and we were all given a handout of his presentation.
Good evening, Council. So thank you for coming before you all tonight. Just several updates. One, I always give an annual update of where we are with the City of Lincolnton Industrial Incentive Grant Program, and always provide us to have information for the budgeting for this year. 3 active this year. What you see in yellow are those in their 2-year qualifying time. As I always say, just and for the public's benefit to know, when the city grants these, the industries have 2 years from that time to make their investment, make their improvements to their real estate, and at the end of that 2 years, we recalculate what their exact investment was by what's on the tax rolls and by what they raised the real estate value to. So Spantex will be receiving the second of their 5 payments for the 21 expansion, and Active Concepts will likely begin their payments this year, and then in another year, our newest new industry to the city, SG Seating Concepts. So looking at countywide, what this grant program, because the county has a similar program, same statutes does for our taxpayers, since this is county and also money that's returned back to the city. Countywide real property tax, or their property, real property of $4.1 million, business personal, that being equipment, $3.1 million, for total tax income to taxpayers of $7.2 million. The grants paid out total city and county this last year, or this actual year, $1.6 million, and a net, which puts a net to the taxpayers of the county and city of $6.2 million. So this program does continue to earn greatly for the taxpayers and encouraging continued investment in the city of Lincolnton and in Lincoln County. We also bring to you every year the Product Development Committee's update. This is a committee of LEDA, of which both Richie and the mayor are part of, where we look at our product, that being what we call our sites and buildings, the areas where we can have enhanced economic development on an industrial scale across the city and county, and rank these by investment. So first priority for this year is further promotion and work to redevelop sites in the city. Some of these their older industrial sites set vacant for many years that now are getting a lot of attention. I'll give you, for example, 319 North Generals Boulevard across from Walmart that actually has a meeting to look at that site coming this next week. So great to see the possibility of that coming back into production and back to earning incomes for our local citizens and income for our taxpayers. Remember, about 18 months ago, we came before you with Edgewater Ventures, and the city rezoned this site on Carr Farm Road. Edgewater Ventures did not construct on that. They had a number of other buildings that were already started, and with the capital markets and where things are national economy-wise, the time they passed on it. However, in order to encourage the further development of this site in a proper manner, LEDA did put this site under option agreement in November for 1 year, and we're continuing to work with private developers to develop this site. We have made it clear that in order to remain zoned industrial, it must be this exact site plan, one that's geared towards advanced manufacturing and not logistics. But as we move forward with that, if there's any change, we have told them that we'll come back before you to make sure this is something that fits what you, city leaders, would like to have and see there. We'll have to go back to that same public process, vetting with the neighbors' input as well. We have another site identified out further other end of Main Street, closer to 73 and 150. That is part of this land has been for sale for some time. All of what you're looking at is not for sale, so we always want to say and caution those that see this, in a public environment. We have not talked with all landowners, but we have been working we've met with NCDOT and doing other research to see if this could be a potential commerce center, not something for heavy industry, but something that could fit well with taxpayers, well with traffic, and be a place to grow for sales tax income and job growth for the city of Lincolnton. And this shows you the size of that property and those parcels. Another priority we continue to look at, we showed you last year, this is the land behind all 321 and Main Street behind Food Line. One thing that does restrict this now is access to it, and the pipeline went in, the access to it that could be there before now has the pipeline on it. There is still rear access to it, but this is somewhat on the back burner. We'll continue to monitor this for an opportunity for the city to grow. We've looked for years and talked about the potential of the the DOT laydown yard, and also where the prison is. Part of that land that's not there, that's not owned by the state, but before that changed hands in the past year, and it's still great development potential. But in years to come, if either of those state facilities are ever relocated, perhaps consolidated or relocated somewhere else here in the community, that would open that up. We'll continue to talk with the state officials, and if and when that comes, I hope to see that put into production, but also would work to maintain both of those public facilities in the community, to maintain those jobs and maintain the great fellowship and the mentorship of a lot of men in our community that go out there and work with those prisoners, trying to help those men reacclimate themselves to society when that comes. That is a valuable asset to those men there, to their families, and our community. So when I say that, I do not in any way want to belittle the value that's received from North Carolina in those families that have loved ones in that facility. So this is on the other side of the county, Lincoln Commerce Center. The north part of the west, or the top of this, what you're looking at is the three big buildings along New 16. The one smaller there in the middle has been leased to Wanzel or Technobuilt. They are the nation's leading manufacturer of shopping buggies. So everybody in Lincolnton has used this product many times, but this will be their U.S. headquarters. They maintain a manufacturing presence in Maiden. They've been there for a number of years. This will be their U.S. headquarters. So a lot of higher level jobs coming to Lincoln County that will be there. The other two big buildings there are not leased yet, although we are in the final stages of negotiations on building one, the 531,000 square feet for a facility that we will know within the next, probably the next 3 to 4 weeks if that is going to come to fruition. If not, we will continue to market it. And the buildings below that we build at some point in the future. So another river been preserved. It's part Lincoln, part Gaston County is becoming a reality, with both sides of the property of both counties being rezoned to industrial. Last year in October, both Lincoln and Gaston County reached their interlocal agreements with the developer and with each other. And right now, the final design phase of water and sewer to that site is being reviewed. Anyone who has been to our airport lately has seen the great earth moving that's been going on there. I want to applaud both the City of Lincoln and the county for your work collaboratively on that, and a very intricate land swap that ultimately will benefit taxpayers of city and county. But the idea behind that is, in the filling of the hole, as it's called, is for that to house aircraft that can be taxed, of course, and then to have the airport business park out there. A lot of businesses that relate to aircraft that have a part in the aircraft industry, gives a great place for them to be. Perhaps a company that installs or manufactures avionics. That's the different as it said, avionics, the different gauges, things used inside an aircraft have to be maintained, and we don't have one of those in or near the community, so that gives us just an example of what could be there. And lastly, in product, this shows the land across from the Lincoln County Industrial Park off 321 that's indicated as future industrial in the county's land use plan. Back in December, a few months ago, we sent out another round of letters and trying to establish dialogue with the critical mass of enough landowners to talk about starting due diligence there. If they were interested in selling, of the 37 plus landowner groups that are out there, I've heard back from 11. Had a nice meeting with one in particular family last week. We don't have that critical mass yet, but being that is right on top of the city, I will continue to keep you apprised of efforts there. It may be that we never have enough, but since it is indicated as such, and since the utilities there, being the sewer is treated by the city. I want to stay on top of that and let y'all know where that is. So as time goes by and more families, land is sold to different ones and more owners are there, that time may not come, but if it does, we'll come back before you. So I wanted to move into just a review of the growth in small businesses. Rhonda's here with me is present tonight, that have happened since I last came in front of you. The last time you saw us present Rubido Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if I'm saying that right, was an invitation to their ribbon cutting. They opened back in August, and a number of you were there. Thank you for coming. Another one, second location in downtown for Quizox, if I'm saying that one right, was back in November. And a number of these you're going to see tonight. Is fantastic to see that they started here. They're now in a bigger location because they outgrew where they were. You know, some years back, our downtown was where businesses could go because it cost less. You'd come downtown because it was the better, lower cost option. That's not so. Downtown Lincolnton is a destination. People want to be here for a lot of reasons, and these businesses want to be here. Back in January, you had Lincoln Social opened up in their new facility. You see a lot of big crowd there tonight and folks enjoying the music just the other day. Good picture of Richie there. I think Ed's towards the background, a few others of you. We had Lake Norman Cheesecakery. You know, it wasn't too long ago, people in Lake Norman didn't know where Lincolnton was. Well, now they're putting their name on a business in downtown Lincolnton because they're proud of it. Isn't that fantastic? Lake Norman Cheesecakery opened back in February. Then right next door to them was, let's see, a Freezy Tail, right next door. Business doing great in both of those. We had Sweetside Bakery relocate from side street now to Main Street back in February. Another one of those businesses that came to downtown Lincolnton that just January of last year, 2023, had the grand opening. And here a year later, moving into a larger facility, showing twice that they voted with their dollars in their business for downtown Lincolnton. At a bakery commercial kitchen that is now opening for Lake Norman Cheesecakery and Freezy Tail. So they have their location retail. And they were going to their original locations and baking and making their product. Well, they're now selling it here in the retail front and also baking and making it in a separate kitchen. So now there's another kitchen added. Valuable asset to downtown Lincolnton. And that is the end of the new ones in just that brief amount of time. However, you might not have seen it yet in your emails, but you have invitations to attend 3 more groundbreaking and 2 ribbon cuttings. Groundbreaking for the Alder Crow Mansion Pavilion venue place that'll be early May, and then ribbon cuttings for Beauty on Tap downtown on May the 3rd at 11 a.m. and Friday, May 17th for Plum Crazy. So 3 more great events coming up, and we're working hard. Rhonda's working hard on ideas for more of those. And with the leadership you've provided, with the emphasis you put, and the things it takes to grow Lincolnton, to keep downtown beautiful, to make this a destination place for people to live and shop, we'll keep having these thanks to your leadership and your input and the great decisions y'all have made in making Lincolnton such a wonderful community that it is. I'll be glad to answer any questions. And if it's a hard question, I'll ask Rhonda to step up and answer it.
Is there any merit to the prison department being on Prison Camp Road being thought of to be so?
We went out there, and Rich and I and others, last year, and that's actually a very well-used facility. It would have to be that if they found either a consolidation or a reason to find another location, that facility is one of the few ones in the state because of the watchtower that's there and the way that it's configured. Although it's medium security now, if the state had to make it a maximum security, they could do so in the amount of time I just explained that. And which is very important, to all of us as taxpayers for our safety too, statewide. So there's been no study of look that we know of doing so, other than it's an older facility and prisons grow, and that is if they had a need to relocate it or find a place for another new one, we would actually work with them to see is there a proper place to put that here in the county. But if it was to be reconsolidated or to be consolidated elsewhere, that would provide that. But as of right now, we are told no. But those do happen. But very good question. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you for your time. Look forward to coming back.
As always, Cliff, it's a pleasure, but Hey, you can't hold a candle to Rhonda. Rhonda, and for those of you that don't know, Rhonda is I think one of the key, if not the key, to the downtown development. Her work is greatly appreciated by the city.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you at the 3 ribbon cuttings. Okay, next item on the agenda, I'll turn it over to Pam for a budget amendment to the general fund and to Boger City, Powell Bill, water and sewer, and electrical. It's all yours, Pam.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor. This is just basically routine. I'm coming up to present this budget amendment to you for April. Again, this is basically routine, interest investments, fees collected above what we originally budgeted. The only difference to that is we did get a big, I would say, water and sewer connection fees, and that was for the Carpenter Farm property, which was over almost $402,000. And I want to emphasize that because in our audit, as you know, that was one of our performance indicators because of our water and sewer infrastructure was below 50%, and some of this extra money, because it's over and above, can go into improving that infrastructure for the city. And I want to give you some examples of that Todd and his crew have worked on this year. We've had lift pump improvements on 150, Tate Mill Road sewer line put in, North General Boulevard sewer repair, Muffin Monster, which, you know, they know what that is, I don't, but, you know, and some other wastewater projects that are going on. So what I'm getting at is this: when we have this kind of new money coming in, it helps us get that indicator up and above where we don't have an issue with the state, but it also provides additional services and safety and all that for our citizens. So this is a good thing. So I'm asking you if you'll please approve this. We're adding almost $1 million to our budget overall, which is a good thing for this for April.
Any questions of Pam? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget amendments.
So moved.
Motion by Roby. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And you're right up there again, Pam?
I am. In our budget workshop on March 15th, I brought to you the NC class investment pool. This is just a resolution asking that you approve me as a member of the City of Lincolnton employment, that I can invest some idle funds into this investment to do some of these projects that we mentioned to help us out.
So moved.
Motion by Christine. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Pam. Okay, next item on the agenda, I'll turn it back over to Chief Green for consideration to apply for a community policing development grant.
Yeah, Mayor and Council spoke in great detail at the budget retreat about the community care program. This grant came up. It's an opportunity to receive up to $400,000 with no matching. And the grant's purpose is to help embed a behavioral health services inside a police department. So pretty much what we talked about at the budget retreat. And that's what we would look to use this grant for. So we'd like permission to apply for.
Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Roby. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief Green.
Good luck with it.
Mayor, Chief was actually gonna do a quarterly update for, on the homeless report. I was gonna do that as part of mine as well. Since he's already up here, it'd be okay to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, let's let him
Yeah,
do it.
no, we won't have to get up twice.
So Mayor and Council, y'all get my monthly reports on the homeless problems. The total for the quarter, we had 47 incident reports that involved homeless, either a victim or an offender in some way. Those reports led to 40 charges. We also recently in January restarted our homeless journal, and basically we will stop and speak to mainly Daniel. He stops, speaks to the homeless in the area, and basically gets information from them, where they're from, how long they've been here. So right now we have 24 individuals on that, 4 females, 20 males. 20 of them have been in Lincoln County or in this area more than a year. We've had 4 individuals that have been here anywhere from 3 weeks to 8 months. And of those, only 1 is out of the state of North Carolina. So of the 24 individuals, 23 of them are from the state of North Carolina. We would consider over 20 of them to be from Lincoln County because they've been here so long. And then 3 individuals are all from basically Gaston County. So.
Have we ever found out, I know you was talking about it, Richie, who might be transporting them in here? And
Not a specific. I mean, I do think from time to time the bus that runs through is bringing individuals, but at the same time we do know that individuals are getting on that bus because they've actually, whether it's us or Christian Ministries in the past, have given bus tickets to people that are wanting to go out of town.
Yeah, we actually took 2 to Charlotte on Monday that were heading to Florida, I believe.
Yeah. And we will assist them if they have somewhere to go.
Yeah, Christian Ministries bought the bus tickets and we transported them to the bus stop in Charlotte. So.
Any other questions to the chief? Thank you, Brian. Okay, next item is something that's near and dear to all of us.
It is my honor to be able to come before y'all tonight and ask permission, or ask that the city dedicate the splash pad at First Federal Park in honor and memory of Devin Ryan. I put before y'all a sketch or a rendering of what that sign would look like. It would actually, it would be on both sides. You'd be able to see it from the trail and you'd be able to see it from the splash pad. There would be something in the middle, that way the lettering would be defined. I've already talked to First Federal. They're okay with it. They'll make an official vote this month as well. But I would like to mention that Devin was the person who basically started this project and got it going. Unfortunately, he passed right after we opened the park. But I think this would be fitting to put his name on that splash pad forever.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea.
And one of the things, like to say that I think we had talked about it before, but I don't have the authority to officially name a building or a park or whatever that needs to come before council. So I'm just asking y'all tonight to officially name this the Devin Ryan Splash Pad.
You and I are the old codgers that were here whenever all that was going on, and Devin was serving on city council.
That was his thing, and I told Richie one other thing that Devin was instrumental in that nobody knows anything about, and that was putting the clock up. We had to have a hole dug. Well, you know how the state and the city is about anything. Well, this hole had to be, it was just about $5,000 worth, I think. And Devin Ryan saw that it got done.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the recommendation. Roby made the recommendation. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Couldn't be for a better cause. Devin was a good friend. And like I say, Roby and I had the opportunity to work with him on city council.
And
Not
a
a finer
nice,
person.
and a nice guy.
Not a fine.
Well, and you can go back, and that was, in my opinion, that was one of the factors of seeing our downtown grow, because Devin, we were in a tough economy when this vision was put out there. But Devin made a comment that stuck with me, and he said, if the city's not willing to put their money into the downtown, how do we expect the private sector to do it? And, he had visions of what the downtown could be. And I think he would be pretty happy where it's at now and continues to grow. But I will definitely contact the family, and we'll line up a ribbon cutting for this event.
And you know, Ed, this is nothing political, but we was going through a change at that time. You know what I'm talking about.
know exactly.
And we had a lot of, there was just a lot going on. And Devin Ryan stood out. I've always admired him for that. But.
Devin, I was lucky enough to go to church with Devin for several years, and have kept up with Joby and
He graduates this year.
yeah,
That's
hard to believe.
isn't it?
But you know, it's past you. Next item on the agenda is the city manager's update.
I've put an activity report in front of you. Just want to go through a few dates as we always do. Just a reminder, tomorrow is our monthly recycling. So if you don't have your can out, Robbie,
I got mine sitting at the door where when I walk in, I'll fall over it.
And next Saturday, the 13th, will be the second Saturday Shop Local. I also wanted to mention, too, Hesed House will have a fish fry on Academy Street in between Freedom Church and the Methodist Church. And I think that will be not all day, but it does go to about 2 or 3 o'clock. But if you've never had their fish, you're missing something, because it is excellent. That next Friday night, which will be the 19th, is the Spring Art Crawl. And then on the 20th of April, we have the Student Advisory Council Color Run. And I would like to mention that we are recognizing the students next month. They'll be recognized. Zach?
Got one here tonight.
Yeah, I asked him, I said, you didn't mess your calendar up, did you? He said, no, I wanted to come to a meeting. And
Well, he told me he wanted to do just like me whenever he was.
yes. We'll have a talk with him.
We'll straighten him out.
And then on the 27th, the Western Carolina Homebrewers Festival, that's on Water Street, involves Untapped and local roots. Would like to mention 2 things on our monthly highlights. In fact, Todd is here tonight. Todd Elmore received his grade 1 biological operator certifications. I don't know, that 7 or 8 certifications you got now, Todd. So he can fill a wall up, let's put it that way. And I'd like to mention Joe Fletcher has been invited to join the UNC Charlotte Fire and Rescue Management Institute Board of Advisors for 2024 and 2025.
Wow.
That took up a lot of a page, I can tell you that. That was, but that is an honor as well to be able to serve on that. Chief mentioned the homeless report. I would like to note that this month the incident reports were 10, the charges were 8, and that's about half of what we've been seeing. So that has gone down. Some of that I'm sure is weather related. Just remind you of our budget schedule. Next month, May 2nd, I will present the budget to City Council. A copy of that will remain in the city clerk's office until approved, and that can be reviewed by any citizen or any member of the city or council member. So, like I say, just remember that will be there. If anybody asks you in the public, they're welcome to come take a look at it. June 6th is our first meeting that month, and we'll have a public hearing to adopt the budget. If it's not adopted at that meeting, we have till July 1st, but it must be adopted before July 1st. But we do have a second meeting in June, and we've always said if we had to utilize that, we will. And a reminder, if we need another workshop or several workshops, we can have as many as we want. And other business, I put in there on the action item spreadsheet, Lincoln Meadows stop signs, that was mentioned by the lady at the public hearing. I contacted her and I went out there. The only thing, and we're going to wait until the new neighborhood is built or the phase 2, because if we put a stop sign at that first intersection, then it wouldn't take much for it to back up into those driveways. And her fear is that the 2 individuals that live there would not be able to get out of their driveway. So she agreed we would wait till phase 2. And then the second one is the social district application. We met with our committee after the council meeting made a few of the corrections, especially, you know, the day change and so forth, and went with a non-clear cup. That way, visually, somebody's not seeing alcohol in a cup. And have sent that off. We sent it 2 different ways. We emailed it, and then we sent it by certified mail. And talking to Pineville, they said they got their application approved in about a week. So he actually gave me a name and a number to call that will track it for us and let us know if there's any issues with it. In your packet, I put the Lincoln County Schools Quarterly Update. That's something that Dr. Allen and his staff put together. It's really good. It mentions several of our Lincolnton students. And also, Cliff had given a copy of a magazine, and I put the page that mentions that this is the second year in a row that North Carolina has been named the top state for business by CNBC. So, and lastly, I wanted to mention the paving schedule. Everything has been paved besides the parking lot, besides Days, and that will be done before June 30th.
Are we gonna do any painting?
Painting.
Lines.
In the parking lot, yes.
In our streets?
If the street had painting before, we will. If it didn't, we won't. No. We've never. Generally, we've let either speed or traffic dictate whether we've had lines on it. And most of the ones here in town are 35. Now we do, prime example, when we do Highland or Lithia Inn, both of those will be striped, and it costs anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to stripe a road. Oh yes, yeah.
Well, some people still don't know which side of the road they're supposed to drive on. That's the reason I'm out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
I will say this though, for all of us who have driven on West Pine, that is nice to actually come down the road now. It was, yeah, but you know, that was waiting until the second phase of the townhomes was finished, because we didn't want to pave it until we could get that section as well. But it's nice to go down the street and not have 41 bumps along the way. So
I think that over on Grove Street where you take a left on Congress.
Yes.
That big hole. Did we do that or?
I don't know if it's a utility cut. It may be ours, but
well, it's fixed.
But there was a issue there with the catch basin. That was the DOT's.
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape now.
That was all I had. Like I said, most of this is in your packet, and if you've got any questions, you can call and let me know. But just a reminder: next month will be a lengthier meeting. It won't get done in an hour. We've got public hearings, we've got the budget, we've got presentations, so it's going to be a little bit longer tonight.
Okay, thank you, Richie. Okay, next item. Do you have any questions? Do we have any questions from the media?
I think you pretty well answered it on the social district, so no changes except for the non-clear cut.
Well, that and we had to change all our graphics because of the days, and that was, like I said, we were able to get that taken care of, and we sent everything out the first of this week, and then we sent certified mail as well. So
that's a state ABC board?
Correct. Well, it's the ABC, yeah, commission.
Okay, anything else? Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Roby. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.